How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping yet another video. I need to change that fucking intro. So repetitive. Right, guys, again, I mention it in every video now. I've mentioned it in the last 5 videos. If you want to enter the competition or donate to my channel, I'll put my bank details and my PayPal in the description below. This video, as you can see from the title, is in relation to induction, prison induction. Now, some people that have never been to prison, or prisoners' girlfriends or prisoners' wives, they'll be like, induction, what's induction? I've heard of it, but what is it? So induction is a booklet. It's about this thick. And what it is in layman's terms is if you end up in prison for the first time or the 50th time, you will do an induction. It's mandatory. Everything from what you do, you arrive at the prison. Say you arrive at the prison on I don't know, it's Monday night, so we'll say we've landed at the prison on a Monday afternoon, yeah? Right, your induction will be done the following morning. You'll be pulled out of your cell, you'll be put in like a little classroom, and then a screw or now they changed it to prisoners are doing it, cleaners and stuff, like normally the number 1. And they just do like a PowerPoint presentation, and in layman's terms, it's the do's and don'ts of the prison rules. Doesn't mention the prisoners' rules. That's just completely, that's on the download app. But it's prison rules, the do's and don'ts of prison, fire safety, fire assembly points, debt, taking drugs and stuff like that, drugs testing, house block rules, that sort of stuff, right? So let's get into it, right? So this one's from Forest Bank, right? As you can see there, this one's from Forest Bank, right? So I'm not going to go through all the prison house block rules. I've done it in a previous video. So house block rules, and then we've got visitors, main rules and stuff. So visits and stuff, how visits work, the rules around visits and stuff. So Dex, because Forest Bank prison is every prison will be different and stuff, whether it's HMP, whether it's G4S, whether it's Sedex or Justice Services. Induction in a nutshell is the same, but they'll word it differently. And like I say, it's as simple as that. Then you've got diversity and inclusion at Forest Bank, which is in regards to age, disability, gender reassignment, race, colour, ethnicity or nationality, religion, belief or none, sexual orientation, sex, marriage and civil partnerships, pregnancy and maternity. What it's trying to do is trying to show that the prison's diverse. It's called diversity and inclusion. It's that you've got to respect people's religion, sex, sexual orientation, ethnicity, nationality, things like that, in a nutshell. So let's move on. Television and cell condition certificate. So saying here, charge £1 a week for a single cell, 50p per week for a double cell. That's for your television, guys. And then it says here, and it just goes on about the rules about getting a TV. Violence reduction statement and stuff. It's all about offending and saying, oh, at Forest Bank we understand there's a responsibility to keep all offenders, staff and visitors safe. We encourage an environment of non-violence, equality and respect for difference. We aim to promote conditions which reduce conflicts and aggression, encourage dignity, integrity and respect. It's prison, man. Lawless fucking place. Statement of policy, suicide prevention and self-harm management. So if it's a screw that's doing it, they normally, it can take up to about an hour. If it's a con that's doing it, i.e. a cleaner, right, that's going through this PowerPoint presentation, can have it done in 20 minutes, man. Serious. Yeah, so what's this? And then it just says here, I agree that I have been clearly explained to me and understand what is expected of me whilst I'm at HMP Forest Bank. House block rules, visitors rules, violence reduction agreement, suicide prevention and self-harm management, diversity and inclusion at Forest Bank, television and cell condition certificate, communications pack and an IEP scheme prisoner compact. IEP stands for incentives, earn privileges. It's like behavioural thing, like you've got basic, which means you've had a nicking, you've got no television, you're locked up 23 hours a day. You've got entry level, which you're on for 2 weeks when you first arrive at the prison. Then you go to standard. If you stay out of trouble for 3 months on standard, you'll become enhanced. When you become enhanced, you get like an extra visit a month. You can spend more in the canteen. Same with standard and entry. If you're on basic, is about £4 a week. I think standard's about £10 a week. Entry level's like £10 a week. Standard's about £15 a week once convicted. Remand, you can spend more. And then you've got enhanced where you can spend more. I think when I became enhanced, I think I could spend £47.50. No, £25.50 or something like that I could spend. If you're on remand, you can spend more. Prisoners reported for adjudication. It says here, it's your responsibility to take all your property to CSU. For those that don't know, cell, solitary unit. When attending adjudication, CSU is just the block, the segregation unit, simple as that. The prison will not accept liability if the procedure is not carried out. I'm aware that mobile phones, accessories, pages, any type of legal drugs and bladed articles are not allowed at H&P Forest Bank. Print your name, sign it. Communications pack, and it goes about the terms and conditions of using the PIN phone system, i.e. don't give your PIN to anybody else. And it's very, very long and stuff like that. Then it goes on to letters, terms and conditions for written correspondence and stuff. Goes on about like Cat A's and stuff, remand prisoners. Goes on to talk about Section 39 letters, which are legal letters, which the prisoner are not allowed to open under any circumstances. Fast track induction, because obviously prison's a revolving door. These are for prisoners that just want to get into induction and be in and out within a 24 hours, 48 hours, bam, straight down the main. Because obviously prison is a revolving door. So it says here, I have been in Forest Bank in the last 6 months and therefore would like to be considered to be fast-tracked. I understand I'm aware of safer custody, ACCT, healthcare, fire safety, OMU, which stands for Offender Management Unit, recovery, diversity and inclusion, and the 24-hour domestic induction. Sign it, blah, blah, blah. Then you've got, I'll show you this. This is your induction canteen. Please ignore all about the tobacco because smoking's now been outlawed and stuff. It's now banned in prison. But if you go in, you'll get £10. If you've got money on you and you've got £10 on you when you go in, or £20, £30, you'll be able to spend £10 on a canteen. Coffee, sugar, roll-on deodorant, pen, pencils, stamps. You used to be able to buy tobacco. That's no longer applicable. What else have we got here? We've got the prison shop. You've got private cash, which is money sent in. Earning, which is money that you've earned from working in the prison. Saving money, where you can put it every week. And he says here, how do you buy things on the canteen? Canteens are purchased via the kiosk. Kiosks are like iPads within an aluminium construction on the wing. No internet access. He says here, how much can you spend? Remand, £22.50 a week. Basic. Entry level, which is your first 2 weeks in prison, £35. Standard, £47.50. These are remand, and enhanced is £51. Convicted, you can spend £4 a week on basic, £10 on entry level. Standard is £15.50, and enhanced is £25.50. Your earning limit is 10 times your IEP status. How money can be sent in? Postal order made payable to the governor. Cash can be sent in, but it's the sender's responsibility. I don't recommend sending cash. Secure payment services, postal orders. You can even drop them off at visits, apparently. Then we go on to cell fires. So talking about fire safety, don't set cell fires because if you think you're going to set a cell fire and you're going to get moved, it won't happen. Consequences of starting a cell fire: death, serious burns and lung damage, causing the above to a cellmate or staff member, resulting in charges. If you set your pad on fire, they'll do your arson with intent to endanger life. It's as simple as that. National Offender Management here, finding a job upon release and stuff. What else have we got here? We've got the triage nurse. You've got to put an app in. You might hear your boyfriend or you whatever say an app. What's an app? You can do them on the kiosk if you've got kiosks in your prison. Some of them still use paper, and this is it really. Your name, your prison number, the reason you want to see the nurse, and there's 2 slips there, so one at the top and one at the bottom. You've got everything's hard work in prison, simple as that. So you've got self-referral here to the health care clinic, whether it be for mental health services within prison are shocking. Skin complaints, Hep C, Hep B, and HIV testing. Now, I had my Hep B in prison. There's a lot of dirty bastards in prison, and I had Hep B. Podiatry, which I think podiatry is your feet or something like that. Diabetes clinic, asthma review, sexual health, Hep B injections, which I've just referred to, I've had that. Opticians, and then you've got the over 50s, and a COPD review. Again, it's another wrap, same sort of setup as the previous bit of paper. Right, then you've got dental request form. Date of birth, are you sentenced, remanded, have you seen the dentist at the prison before? At Forest Bank, like I say, this isn't relevant to Forest Bank. Every prisoner that goes to prison will do an induction at some point. But the dentist at Forest Bank was known as the butcher of the bank. If you didn't even need teeth pulling, the fucker would pull your teeth out, mate. Then we've got mandatory drugs testing. What is MDT? Urine, hold on, it says here, urine testing to detect drug use. All prisoners in England and Wales can be tested. It's part of the prison service drug strategy, tackling drugs in prison as part of the national drug strategy to prevent drug use in England's prisons and after release. Load of shit, mate. Whoever wrote that was probably I. Communications pack again, telephone call, terms of using your prison phone. Gone through this. Letters, terms and conditions for letter correspondence. It says here a maximum of up to 5% of correspondence sent and received on a daily basis by prisoners is subject to monitoring. Fucking load of shit. Some of them do, some of them don't. If you're a Cat A, they scrutinise your mail. I've never been a Cat A, but I obviously know what's going on. You've got the recovery team here, referral form, that you're on some sort of substance abuse and you want help for it in prison. Most people, there's more drugs on the fucking drug-free wing than there is on normal wings. You've got the Samaritans and stuff like that. Here, and it's Samaritans and stuff. On the back of your prison ID card, there's some, if you've been bullied or something like that. I've never been aware of prisoners using it. The listeners as well. The listeners are prisoners that are taught, the trained to talk you out about if you're suicidal or something like that, because it'll be easier to talk to another prisoner that's in that position as a mentor than it would be a screw. Talking about here what you need to go on visits and stuff, from passport, driving licence, provisional driving licence, birth certificate, bank statements, marriage certificates, utility bills, child benefit letter, bank statement, child tax credit. You need a primary ID, a secondary ID and a visiting order. That's if you use visiting orders. Then it says here domestic visits, entitlements, remand prisoners, standard regime, convict enhanced and stuff like that. But then you've got the violence reduction policy, again talking about trying to reduce violence in prison, but we're seeing record numbers of assaults, guys, year on year, so make of that what you will. Do you think the violence reduction strategy is working? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Reduction of policy, suicide prevention and self-harm management, encouraging supportive relationships built by trust and integrity, influencing all aspects of life within Forest Bank, encouraging the maintenance of family ties, load of shit, they end up shipping you hundreds of miles away from home, encouraging and supporting links with the community, providing a supportive listening service, fucking load of shit. Finance, it says here, adjudications, loss of earnings, loss of canteen privileges, wages, no week in hand, prisoners working Monday to Sunday and they're paid the next day on the Monday. Loans can be applied for via the kiosk, can only apply for a loan if you have money to follow, i.e. you've been shipped in for another prison. Loans can be no less than £2 or no more than £10. One loan per prisoner. Checks, blah blah blah. Incoming money, cash accepted but not preferred. Postal orders, checks. Checks can take 5 to 15 days. Who uses checks these days? PTS payment, which is secure payment services. Cash, checks, postal orders. Your envelope will be stamped with the amount and date. If querying a postal order, need a stamped addressed envelope and voucher ID number. You can get advances, disbursements, contra of monies, phone credits. Phone credits, if you put them on a Monday, you go on a Tuesday. If you put them on a Tuesday, they'll go on a Wednesday. Wednesday for Thursday, Thursday for Friday. Friday, because they're not in Saturday, Sunday, it'll be the following Monday. So that's phone credits. Phone numbers, about putting your phone numbers on and stuff. Television rental, like I've said, £1 for a single cell, double 50p each. Reissues of prison ID cards, £2. Finances, valuable property to court application. You've got court appearances about taking your stuff and everything. Then you've got the address, obviously, of the prison, which you can see there. Agecroft Road, Pendlebury, Salford. You've got the visiting number and all that sort of stuff. This is for Forest Bank, guys, but every prison, like I say, every prison will be different, but induction's induction. Everyone does it. You've got grasp here, gay rights and supporting prisoners, because prison's supposed to be diverse and stuff. And then you've got, we come on to legal highs. Now it says here, what substances are covered. Legal highs are no longer illegal. The Psychoactive Substances Act was introduced on the 26th of May 2016, makes it illegal to possess any new psychoactive substances in a custodial institution, whether you're smuggling it or you're taking it in. It says here, offence, possession of a psychoactive substance in custodial institution, prison, maximum sentence 2 years. Possession of a psychoactive substance with intent to supply, 7 years. Supplying or offering to supply a psychoactive substance, 7 years. Importing and exporting a psychoactive substance, 7 years. Producing a psychoactive substance, 7 years. And it says, what happens when you get caught? Does this apply to staff and visitors? Yes, it applies to everyone. If a visitor or a staff member is found with NPS, new psychoactive substances, they could face a custodial sentence of up to 7 years. And then it goes on to say here, why was the law introduced? Will I be tested for NPS, new psychoactive substances? You can actually detect spice on mandatory drugs testing. Can I get help to get off NPS, new psychoactive substances? Yes. Will I get in trouble if I admit to taking NPS? Simple as that. That concludes induction. It dragged out, guys, like I say, but it's just to give you the do's and don'ts, and it doesn't actually mention debt in there, but it will come up in induction and stuff. Don't borrow anything, double bubble, double trouble. If you borrow something in prison, you've got to give double back. It's as simple as that. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. This covers the induction booklet and a brief summary or the full summary of what you will expect if you end up in prison on induction wing. It will be normally done the following day. On that note, comment in the comment section below, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to enter the competition or donate to my channel, I'll put my bank details and my PayPal and the link in the description below. I'm going back to double curry because I'm gangster and I love me curry. Right, speak to you all soon, guys. Cody out.